Last weekend, dozens of Elestrals casters threw down to claim victory and immortality in our Elestrals Digital Tournament. Now, our digital tournament sometimes features some really epic new cards coming out in Frostfall, including this finals clash between Cerulli and Nova, both of which are utilizing Nemisail, a brand new Wind Elestral. I'm gonna live commentate the championship match between these two casters, so show some love and hit that like button down below. And don't forget to check out our Elestrals tournament schedule to get involved yourself. Discord.gg/Elestrals. Our next event is on March 30th as a webcam tournament, and then we have digital and webcam tournaments sprinkled out going all the way to mid-May so far. Very briefly, breaking down the deck, Cerulli took his deck to the finals with a really cool core featuring some wind. He's got the Sorlits and the Pegas and the Exaltair and the Nemisail. A lot of Nexus mechanic fitting in those Altar of Stars, but also featuring cards like Viserys, Astravid, and Elechic to round out their Elestral core. A very epic deck. Nova, on the other hand, is bringing Penterror back. We've seen Penterror dominate at times throughout the metagame, but we haven't seen it make a showing as of recent. But Nova's Penterror deck features that Nemisail as well, including Astravids, Elechics, and then a pretty standard rune package with Earthquakes and Laurels, and of course the double Divines, Aeolus and Zeus. This is a clash you don't want to miss, so let's dive in and find out who's going to win this one. All right, kicking off this clash, it looks like Nova's going to be starting it off setting a rune face down. Gonna set 2 runes face down, and both these casters are gonna be looking to utilize their Exaltairs. That Exaltair Nexus can burn your opponent and put them on the back foot. Nova's gonna get this one started with a Hydrake, which I love to see. I think Hydrake is often used in clashes as an offensive threat where you kind of run it into things to get your Twindra out quickly, but it also can serve as like a defensive play in a way as well, because you're forcing your opponent to have to get rid of it without attacking it, because you really don't want to bring out the Twindra. We're gonna see Ruli drop the Astravid here, gonna be able to look at the top 3 and add something to his hand. A nice quick shuffle, a good defensive backbone here with the Astravid, a very good counter to the Hydrake strategy because Hydrake can't hit over it, so without removal, Hydrake is just sitting there. And oftentimes, like, burning some of your best cards on Astravid can sometimes be a little bit of a feels bad man. But here comes the Sorlit. That is a great response from Nova. Sorlit can use its expend effect to change the position of Astravid, putting into attack position, and now Hydrake fires away into the Astravid. But we see a response. Cerulli is going to utilize their Tsunami to change the position of both Hydrake and Sorlit and Astravid, preventing those attacks from going through. So while Sorlit was able to force the Astravid into attack, now they're all sent to defense position, and Ruli gains the upper hand as they're going to get their Elechic out. That's going to allow them to search their deck, but Nova says absolutely not. I am shutting you down with the Gorgon's Gaze, and that means that Elechic cannot attack to take out Sorlit, which also means that Astravid is forced to go into attack position if he wants to get rid of the Sorlit. Another back row is set, and we're going to see if this Astravid is going to charge forward and try to attack the Sorlit, as Ruli sets another back row. Here comes the Astravid with the Onslaught. Obviously, it's now going to be more vulnerable to a Hydrake or something else on the following turn. Although I would imagine if Ruli's willing to make that kind of a commitment with their Astravid, then they probably have some protection with one of those 3 face down back row. Aeolus hits the field, and he's going to be charged up with 3 Lycaris Wind Spirits. The Disenchant 2 comes into play, and Exaltair is added to the hand for Nova. Exaltair does put on this immediate pressure with the Nexus opportunity. We're going to see a Nexus onto the Hydrake, and that's going to force the burn too. And now Cerulli is backed against the corner as he's going to need to deal with 2 Elestrals attacking him. We'll see if this attack is going to go through. I'm curious if he's going to try to get rid of that Astravid. There's an Ambrosia coming out. An interesting choice to not take the Spirit from the Hydrake there, but I guess you kind of allow yourself a little bit more setup on a future turn if you're able to keep them both alive. It's really going to come down to what is Nova's back row at this point, because with only 1 rune face down, contending with 3 on Ruli's side, there may be some answers here. Is there another Tsunami? There is not. Exaltair charges forward, and the Astravid does go down. Now Hydrake attacks. Will we see a Shield of Achilles here? No. A Gorgon's Gaze to shut it down. Is he going to go attack step or battle step here? He goes battle step. A really awesome play. It's going to cost Ruli some spirits there, but he's going to be able to shut down Hydrake's effect. To explain that further, because Gorgon's Gaze can both suppress and negate effects, you can choose to use it in the attack step, which would negate the attack because you can prevent the attack with Gorgon's Gaze, or you would use it in the battle step where the battle is already confirmed to happen, but you use Gorgons to shut down the effect of Hydrake, so the 2 Elestrals crash, and thus Hydrake's effect does not go off. Elechick hits the field, the Divine Surge happens, and with 4 attack, it can hit over the Exaltair, but it's going to be met with a huge Shield of Achilles from Nova. So it does seem as though Nova had exactly the back row they needed to protect their Spirit deck, and of course, their last line of defense, Exaltair. Nova is looking for another Wind Elestral or an Aeolus here. P-Gust is a perfect fit as he can clear one of those face-down runes. He's going to go for the one on the left side closest to the Spirit deck. Will Soruli respond? No, it was a bluff with Ambrosia. And now a Nexus play. Exaltair steals the Spirit from P-Gust to burn for 2 more. A super aggressive play from Nova. I love it if it pays off. Will he be able to hit for 2 spirits here against Soruli? The Exaltair fires off its attack, and the hit connects. A huge play. All in all, Nova getting 4 spirits of swap there and taking out Ambrosia in the process, but it's not over yet because here comes Viserys, baby, with no back row to protect him. Nova's Exaltair is going down, and Viserys is taking names, baby. It is going to take it out, and another Viserys will now swarm the field and give Soruli an incredible advantage. Now he's going to be down to just 5 spirits, and Nova only has 1 card in hand. This is going to be incredible to see if Nova is able to climb back in this one with 2 big threats and not a lot of resources at their disposal. Resting on your laurels will help, though. That's going to play on the Viserys. Does Nova have another Elestral? That's going to be the key here. It's an Earthquake. All the removal is here. Nova responds in a big way. Laurels into Earthquake. 3 spirits, trading for 2. Both Viserys are gone, and now an expend to draw is almost guaranteed to give them some opportunities and resources to prepare themselves for the final stages of this clash. Nova draws. Doesn't seem to be a rune they want to play. Could be an Elestral. Ruli's got plenty of options here, including Aeolus. He's got an open field. Does he go Exaltair and max it out? Let's find out. Doesn't have enough spirits to do it. Looks like he can only grab 2. Which means that he's going to have to go into his Spirit deck now and grab Nemisail, a great pickup. That's going to allow Soruli to get that regeneration out, healing 2 spirits every time Nemisail receives a Wind Spirit. So that's going to get him back to 4. This is an incredibly close clash coming down to the wire. Nemisail is going to be able to hit for 1 spirit here. Soruli sitting on a ton of resources in his hand, setting another rune face down. Nemisail is going to chip for 1. We got ourselves a 5-4 clash, but it's really tied when you factor in that Nemisail has that field presence. Nova is top decking right now, ladies and gentlemen. Nova needs to pull something crazy to be able to come back in this one. Up against a wall, it's going to be Astravit. That's about as good as it gets. Astravit is going to be able to activate his look effect and grab a card from the top of the deck, enhancing their strategy, giving them tons of options and resources to be able to climb this back, and providing a defensive wall to prevent the Nemisail from hitting through it. Ambrosia is the card of choice. He reveals it, most presumably because he's going to play it right away, and that's exactly what Nova does here, regenerating their spirits back up, and now Astravit can hold the line against Nemisail and other potential threats. If you're Soruli, you're basically fishing to try to get yourself a Sorlet at this point, I would imagine. You really need that Sorlet, but an Earthquake comes off here. That looks like another card that they picked up. Lots of removal in this late stages. That was a really smart play by Nova there, getting that Earthquake off, because not only do you get rid of the Nemisail, but you prevent Soruli from healing on the following turn. Nemisail is definitely going to shake things up when we get to Frostfall, man. I'm very excited about that. Soruli responds with an Aeolus, but still so low on spirits and having a hard time getting to that Exaltair. It makes me wonder if they had actually gone Exaltair instead of something else, maybe that would have been a little different. But they do go, it looks like they go Sorlet, and Sorlet can immediately pressure the Astravit, but he doesn't have enough spirits to do so. Gonna have to misenchant with water and can't hit over the Astravit. Perhaps a bit of miscalculation there from Soruli in terms of managing their spirit deck. And now Nova with 4 spirits and Astravit holding down the fort. He's got an opportunity here to gain the advantage and ultimately clinch this clash. What is going to be Nova's play? Astravit is untouchable right now. He's going to re-enchant it with a Wind Spirit to ensure that even with an Ambrosia play from Soruli, he cannot use Sorlet's effect to change Astravit to attack position. So just really heads up play here from Nova. These casters are absolutely incredible, playing at the top of their game. I love that play there. prioritizing the protection, understanding your wind conditions. That's a big part of Elestrals, that resource management. Having that wind spirit at the end to kind of keep your Astrabit safe is mega huge. And now we'll see if Nova's going to try to pressure. They do have a card to play face down, but if you're Nova, honestly, you can probably just sit on this and just play patiently, because chances are there's gonna be a Pantera. Forget I said that. Pantera on the normal ascend. That is gonna blow back the Sorlet, and with only one spirit on field and one spirit on Sorlet, it is unlikely Cerulli has an answer here. He could try to Gorgons, but that's gonna leave him with nothing. You can't shield this thing. That's gonna be game. Nova takes game 1. What an incredible showing from Nova, going for the normal ascend with the Pantera. That one looked like it was going to be over. Cerulli got those double Viscerus onto the field, and I thought that was going to be game, but the Earthquake and the resting on your laurels proved to be massive. Let's see what happens in Clash 2. Don't forget, in a game of Elestrals and a best of 3, you have the opportunity to utilize your side deck, where you have 12 cards, both Spirits, Elestrals, and Runes, that can be integrated into your main deck and swapped around for game 2 and game 3. Both these casters do have side decks, and there's some pretty interesting cards there, including Bag of Winds, Helios Chariot Ride, Thunderstorms, and beyond. I'm excited to see how these casters are going to play this one out. Cerulli, taking the loss in Clash 1, does get to choose who goes first, opts to go first themselves, and kicks things off with an Astrabit. That's about as good as it gets. Astrabit provides that defensive play and provides more resources that are so crucial at the early stages of these clashes. Gonna set 3 back row, and it looks like they're gonna pass it. Nova with an uphill clash to climb. Gotta get through that back row. Gotta pressure that Astrabit. And it's so hard to do at this early stage, because you know, your answers are really, I'm gonna play my Sorlet and I'm gonna use this effect. I'm gonna play my removal and burn through that, or I'm gonna just try to establish board presence. And I love this play. Pigus gonna do that, right? You know the Astrabit's not providing a ton of offensive pressure. You have 2 back row, and you can start getting rid of some of those runes, and you're gonna actually pop a Gorgon's Gaze. Best case scenario for Nova there. You can't ask for more. You target the middle rune. You now know that that's probably pretty important. That's most likely a shield. It could be a tsunami, but you forced the Gorgon's Gaze, meaning that it costs them 2 spirits. And I love Nova taking the initiative here, firing off a Gorgon's Gaze of their own into the Elechick, preventing those divine searches. I'll tell you what, when I play Elestrals, I often will not use Gorgons on Elechick, right? Because it sometimes feels like it's not always worth it. If you want to get your Divine, go get it. But I'll tell you what, Nova is showing it up right now, stopping the attacks, saving their Pigus, and stopping the Divine. Here comes a Poison Tipped Arrow. That might be a terrible play, though, because all you're doing is allowing the Hydrake to crash. Oh, a huge misstep from Cerulli. Twindra comes out to the field. And now Twindra can put the pressure on. So the 2 attack drop on Hydrake is great, but not when it just attacks into the Elechick and crashes itself. There is the Altar of Stars to change the position of Twindra to defense. Now the Twindra's out. Maybe he wanted that. Maybe that was the plan all along. Although I guess, why wouldn't you just save the PTA for the Twindra? I'm a little unsure. I guess he wanted to save the Elechick. I guess that's the idea. He PTA'd the Hydrake to drop its attack, keep his Elechick safe, allowed the crash, let the Twindra come out, and now we're going to see that response, and we're going to see the Earthquake added to hand. I believe that was as a result of their look effect from Astrabit. They do have the Earthquake. They are going to clear the Twindra, and ultimately it works out. So what looked like it could have been a really bad misplay from Ruli, I stand corrected. I see their play now. I see their thought process. Clearly thinking many more steps ahead than I was. And here comes Viscerus, baby, with a double enchanted Astrabit on the field. Gonna put the full pressure forward again. Viscerus just exerts so much pressure on the field, but Tsunami is here to stop the onslaught, shifting everything back to defense and saving Pigus for yet another turn. There's no back row for Cerulli, which means as long as Nova has an Elestral with 3 attack or more, that Viscerus is going down, and it is gonna be Elechick able to search out that Aeolus, which is going to put on so much pressure with Exalter as these turns continue to press onward and we get closer to the later stages of this clash. Elechick takes down Viscerus, a huge blow for Cerulli, who just hasn't been able to get that Mantis going. Elechick of his own responds, ready to crash or take out Pigus. This could be big because he can get out Zeus now. He can get out Aeolus. There's a lot of opportunities here. Cerulli going to be diving into their deck. They're going to go Aeolus here. Cerulli's going to grab that Aeolus, and it looks like he could have went Zeus, so he grabs the Aeolus instead. Elechick fires forward, takes out the Pigus, and now Astrabit remains in defense position. These 2 casters are going to be looking to see who can use their Exalter to the highest potential right now. and who's going to have the back row to support those Elestrals and keep them around and hanging around in this clash. Ambrosia comes down. That's a big regen at this stage of the clash. Up to 14 spirits to the 10. Sorlet will do it as well. That'll play. Sorlet's effect changes the position of Astrabit. That means Elichick can take that out, and Sorlet can take out the Elichick. We've got ourselves a full board wipe, and Nova's got complete control of this clash. However, there is no back row for Nova to protect them, so we got to keep an eye on that, because another Viscerus could be devastating. You can get that Viscerus to take out the Elichick, keep it protected with a Tsunami on the next turn, and you're cooking again. So don't count out Ruli here. 4 cards in hand, 10 spirits to go. What is their play gonna be? It's gonna be the resting on your laurels, taking out the Sorlet. Huge plays there. That removal can be so clutch in this stage of the clash. Sometimes that card feels like a dead card. Other times it feels like the best card in the game. That's gonna work right there. Another rune face down. Will we see an expend to draw? No, a Sorlet of his own! Wow! Sir Ruli with the resting on your laurels into Sorlet, gonna take out the Elichick and gain the momentum back in this one. Nova's got 4 cards in hand to choose from. Will they have an Elestral to play out here against this Sorlet? A face down rune is their answer. Here comes A-List. There it is. Exaltair's a coming. Going up to 3 with that. Exaltair hits the field, doesn't even need the search. Gonna Nexus 1 to burn 2. There's the hit. Is there any sort of a way to get rid of this Sorlet? Let's find out. You gotta protect that Exaltair. There's the search. He's gonna drop both of them and go into his deck for what? Was it Hydrake? Sir Ruli's gonna draw. Looks like our editor cut that piece out, so I actually am not sure what he grabbed. A-List hits the field right there for Sir Ruli. Gonna chant up to 3. Gonna go for his own Exaltair, perhaps? This is gonna come down to what is Nova's face down rune. Is it a Tsunami? We're gonna find out because he's got the Pegas. Huge search there. A-List going into Pegas. That's gonna allow him to get rid of that face down rune, and Sorlet can pressure the Exaltair. What is it gonna be? Gorgon's Gaze, if you're Nova, is what you're looking for. Shield of Achilles. What a brilliant play from Ruli, searching out the Pegas, clearing the shield. Sorlet takes out Exaltair. Pegas gonna chip for 1. The only thing stopping Sir Ruli from winning this is just a few more turns to establish board presence. Nova sitting at 7 spirits, has a massive spirit advantage there. Earthquake comes off, that's gonna take out the Sorlet. This could be another board flip. Sorlet goes down. Does Nova have an answer to the Pegas? We know they searched with A-List. We're probably gonna find out what that is here on this next cast. What is it gonna be? Did he go Hydrake? No, he went Nemisail to heal up, and that 3 attack proving to be pivotal at this point in the clash. Not only healing 2 spirits, but now being able to pressure the Pegas and running into a Tsunami, which is going to prevent those attacks from going through and put the Pegas into defense. Ruli looked like they were gonna have so much momentum, but all of a sudden, that Tsunami saves them for this turn, but that spirit difference right now is massive because Ruli's opportunities are starting to dwindle. The chances and the plays they can make are getting reduced. Pegas, however, goes on the offensive. It's going to take out the Nemisail, and now it comes down to what will Nova draw into. Will they have another Elestral resource to cast to take out the Pegas? If they start whiffing here, this could be the opportunity for Ruli to gain a huge advantage, but the flying pigs do fly, ladies and gentlemen. Sorlet comes out, pressures down Pegas, no back row response, might have been a bluff from Ruli. Sorlet taking charge of the field, and now with just 1 spirit left, Ruli looks for positioning down to the wire of this clash. Already down 1 clash to nothing. Can Nova take this one? They're gonna set a rune. This Sorlet, if it connects, it's probably over. Astrabit hits the field. That's even better. And there's the reveal. Nova takes it and wins the championship and wins the title for today. Congratulations to Nova 17 on the back of Penterror winning the clash, and a big shout out to Sir Ruli for making it this far. What an epic throwdown. They had the Tsunami, as they reveal, in the Earthquake, but not enough spirits to use it. Wow. That was just an incredible set of clashes, and a big shout out to both casters, Nova and Sir Ruli, for throwing down. Like I said, if you want to get in on our Elestrals event, head over to our Discord server, discord.gg/Elestrals, and join today. You can join our tournaments. They're all free. We do a great job, and we have a lot of fun playing them, so I hope we'll see you in our next one. Thanks so much for watching this one, guys. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys soon.